Abhimanyu, taking up a sword and a shield, jumped into the sky, displaying great strength and great activity, and describing the tracks called Kaushik and others. The son of Arjun fiercely coursed through the sky like the prince of the winged creatures, that is Garuda. He may fall upon me sword in hand. With such thoughts, those mighty bowmen were on the lookout for the latches of Abhimanyu and began to pierce him in that battle, with their gaze turned upwards. Then Drona of mighty energy, that conqueror of foes with a sharp arrow, quickly cut off the hilt decked with gems of Abhimanyu's sword. Radha's son Karn, with sharp shafts, cut off his excellent shield. Deprived of his sword and shield, thus he come down with sound limbs from the welkin upon the earth. Then taking up a carvel, he rushed in wrath against Drona, his body bright with the dust of the carvels, and himself holding the carvel in his upraised arms. Abhimanyu looked exceedingly beautiful and imitating Vasudev, became awfully fierce for a while in that battle. His robes tied with the blood flowing from his wounds, his brow formidable with the wrinkles visible thereon, himself uttering loud leonine roars, Lord Abhimanyu of immeasurable might, staying in the midst of those kings, looked exceedingly resplendent on the field of battle. Sanjay said, that joy of Vishnu's sister, that Athiratha, decked with the weapons of Vishnu himself, looked exceedingly beautiful on the field of the battle and looked like a second Janardhan, with the end of his lock waving in the air, with that supreme weapon upraised in his hands. His body became incapable of being looked at by the very gods. The king, beholding it and the will in his hands, became filled with anxiety and cut that off in the 100 fragments. Then that great car warrior, the son of Arjun, took up a mighty mace, deprived by them of his bow and car and sword, and divested also of his wheel by his foes. The mighty armed Abhimanyu, mace in hand, rushed against Aswathama. Beholding that mace upraised, which looked like the blazing thunderbolt, Aswathaman, that tiger among men, rapidly alighted from his car and took 3 leaps for avoiding Abhimanyu, slaying Aswathama's steeds and 2 Pashni charioteers with that mace of his. Subhadra's son, pierced all over with arrows, looked like porcupine. Then that hero praised Suvala's son Kalikya down into the earth and slew 770 Gandhar, followers of the latter. Next he slew 10 car warriors of the Brahm Vasatya race, and then 10 huge elephants. Proceeding next towards the car of the Dusahasan sons, he crushed the latter's car and steeds, pressing them down into the earth. The invincible son of the Dusasan, then Osar, taking up his mace, rushed at the Abhimanyu, saying, wait, wait! Then those cousins, those 2 heroes with upraised maces, began to strike each other, desirous of achieving each other's death, like three-eyed Mahadev and the Asur Andhak in the days of the old. I of those chastisers of foes struck with the other's mace ends, fell down on the earth like 2 uprooted standards erected to the honor of Indra. Then Dusasan's son, that enhancer of the fame of Kurus, rising up first, struck Abhimanyu with the mace on the crown of his head, as the latter on the point of rising, stupefied with the violence of the stroke, as also the fatigue he had undergone. That slayer of hostile hosts, Viz., the son of Subhadra, fell on the earth deprived of his senses. Thus, O king, was one slain by many in battle, one who had crowned the whole army like an elephant grinding lotus stalks. in a lake. As he lay dead on the field, the heroic Abhimanyu looked like a wild elephant slain by the hunters. The fallen hero was then surrounded by the troops, and he looked like an extinguished fire in the summer season after as it lies, having consumed the whole forest, or like a tempest divested of its fury after having crushed mountain crests, or like the sun arrived at the western hills after having blasted with his heat the Bharat host, or like the Soma swallowed up by Rahu, or like the ocean reft of water. The mighty car warriors of the army beholding Abhimanyu, whose face had the splendor of full moon, and whose eyes were rendered beautiful in the consequences of lashes black as the feathers of raven lying prostrate on the bare earth, were filled with great joy, and they repeatedly uttered leonine shouts. Indeed, O monarch, the troops were in transports of joy, while tears fell fast from the eyes of Pandav heroes, beholding the heroic Abhimanyu lying on the field of battle, like the moon dropped from the firmament. Divers creatures, O king, in the welkin said aloud, Alas, this one lied on the field, slain while fighting singly by the six mighty car warriors of the Dhritarashtra army, headed by Drona and Karna. This act had been, we hold, an unrighteous one. Upon the slaughter of that hero, the earth looked exceedingly resplendent like the star bespangled firmament with the moon. Indeed, the earth was strewn with shafts, equipped with the wings of gold and covered with the waves of blood, and strewn with the beautiful heads of the heroes, decked with earrings, variegated turbans of the great value, and banner, and yaktails, and beautiful blankets, and begemed weapons of the great efficacy. The bright ornaments of the cars and steeds, and the men and elephants, and sharp, well tempered swords, looking like snakes freed from their slows and bows, and broken shafts and darts and swords and lances and compans and divers other kinds of weapon. She assumed a beautiful aspect, and in the consequence of the steeds dead or dying, but all weltering in blood with their riders, failed by Subhadra's son, the earth in many places became impassable, and with the iron hooks, the elephant, huge as hills, equipped with shield and weapons and standards, lying about and crushed with shafts, with excellent cars, deprived of the steeds and charioteers and car warriors lying scattered on the earth, crushed by elephant, and looked like agitated legs, with the large bodies of the foot soldiers decked with divers weapons lying dead on the ground, the field of battle, wearing a terrible aspect, inspired all timid hearts with terror. This was from the Abhimanyu Vadh Parv, from Drona Parv, and it is from one of the 18 volumes of the Mahabharata. And here I will share all the Mahabharata with you from A to Z. And this is not the start of the Mahabharata. If you are new to this is the mid part of the Mahabharata, and I will start the mid part of the Mahabharata from the next episode. So follow the channel now, and from the next episode we will enjoy, we will see the greatest Mahabharata, the great of the great, the Mahabharata of